Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and today I'm doing a no run-through review for the newest hero that is released for Marvel Champions, which is War Machine. War Machine! Or also known as James Rhodes, or Rhodey. I don't know if that last part is true, but yep. This is an interesting hero because I have had no idea what to expect of what they were going to do with him, because they couldn't obviously do the same thing that they do with Iron Man, and they did not. He plays radically different from Iron Man, kind of a mix between Iron Man and Groot. And the reason why I say that is because he deals with ammo tokens similar to the way that Groot dealt with growth tokens, and then like Iron Man with his tech, but he doesn't have to build his armor to be good, although it does help. So, as James Rhodes, he has 3 recovery, 6 hand size, 10 HP. Pretty standard so far. No one's really deviated from anything weird like that. But he does have an action that he can choose a War Machine card in his discard pile and shuffle it back into his deck, which is good because that allows him to cycle his bigger and better cards after they're used. He doesn't have a whole lot of card draw. In fact, I don't think he has any, but of course you can build him that way so you can cycle through and get the better cards even faster. He does have a forced response, though. After you change to this form, you discard each ammo counter from your identity. And that'll make sense as I flip him over to, of course, the War Machine side. 1 thwart, 2 attack, 2 defense. He is not a heavy thwarter, but he does deal a lot of damage. Now that's a lot of damage. Hand size 5, and so locked and loaded. What's the other one say? Okay, he doesn't have another. Anyway, locked and loaded. Response: after you change to this form, place 5 ammo counters on War Machine. Boom! Looking for this is what he says. I remember that. Anyway, so 5 ammo counters go onto this card, and that's how he uses a lot of his cards. So let's take a look at some of these sexy bad boys, and let's start with the sexiest one, and actually my favorite art piece. That is Full Auto. As a hero action, you can remove 4 ammo counters from War Machine and choose an enemy. Deal 8 damage to that enemy. This attack gains Overkill. So, yeah, that's pretty much his biggest card, and it only costs 2 as an event. That's pretty amazing. And he has 2 of these in his deck, so you wouldn't be able to combo off with these. Well, technically, there probably is a way, but let me just go ahead and say War Machine is a difficult character to use, at least I found. Because unlike Groot, where you just accumulated a bunch of growth and then do big attacks just based off how much growth you have, and it was a defense mechanism, his ammo does nothing for him defensively, of course, and you have to find ways to get it, so you're constantly flipping back and forth between James Rhodes, and you lose them, so you don't get to save them from round to round, at least once you flip to Alter Ego. They don't go away at the end of each round if you stay as War Machine. But then once you flip back, he gets another 5. So that's what makes him, I find, actually kind of difficult, because you have to build a very specific way to, I feel, get his engine running. And if you can get that engine going, then I think he's pretty powerful. But so that's his big one. And then you have his other one, which is Repulsor Beam, which is right there. That is another attack. Remove 1 ammo counter from War Machine to deal 4 damage to an enemy. So with these 2 alone, you would be able to deal 12 damage just in 2 cards with just flipping over to War Machine, which is actually very impressive. Like, flip to him, you have these 2 in your hand, you have 1, Genius, and then any other card to pay for these 2, and you're dealing 12 damage right off the bat, which is insane, because there's not a lot of characters that allow you to just do 12 damage with very little. You kind of have to build up to it. So, but then he's out of ammo, and then you really cannot do anything, because every single card that allows it, well, not every single, there are a few upgrades, but every event that he does, he needs ammo for. So, let's take a look at a few more of these events. He has Scorched Earth. Scorched Earth is let's just move that up like so. Apologies for the glare, but remove 3 ammo counters from War Machine to deal 3 damage to each enemy in play. Very good at like horde disruption. If a lot of minions are coming your way, okay, I'll just do Scorched Earth and then most likely kill all of them. And then he has Targeted Strike. So remove 1 ammo counter from War Machine, remove 3 threat from a scheme. And that is pretty much his only way of removing threat, besides, of course, himself. War Machine is built with a leadership deck. So there's a lot of his cards. And as with leadership, there's a bunch of allies. And so he basically is the heavy firepower, whereas the allies that you hopefully can get in allow you to deal with the threat. They're kind of dealing with the main scheme or any side schemes while you're dealing damage. So, then he does have a few more, but the rest are going to be upgrades. So let's go ahead and get these events out of the way. And then we have some upgrades. And then here's where you can kind of get an engine going with Gauntlet Gun. This is an upgrade, so it stays, and then exhaust it to generate a wild resource for him for a War Machine event, which we just looked at the 4 events here, and you place an ammo counter on War Machine. So what's pretty cool about that is that makes an 8 damage card, only cost 1, well, at least cost 1 to play, and then only 3 ammo, and then that makes Repulsor Beam free because you remove 1 ammo from him and it only costs 1, so just 1 Gauntlet Gun allows you to shoot a Repulsor Beam. Targeted Strike also becomes free to remove some threat, and then Scorched Earth is a 2 and 2 to play at 2 ammo cost to deal 3 damage to each enemy. So a Gauntlet Gun is pretty invaluable, and it allows you to, it's just insane, and there are 2 of them. So, and they're not restricted, so of course, because he has 2 arms, so he can have 2 Gauntlet Guns out, so that essentially, like with these events, that makes a full auto free and costs 2. That makes a Repulsor Beam and Targeted Strike free, and then a Scorched Earth just costs 1 and 1 ammo. So you could, just with these 2 Gauntlet Guns alone, you could get a full auto out and a Scorched Earth, because that would cost 2 ammo, and then 1 ammo. Like, essentially is kind of how that plays out. So you could do 8 damage to 1 with overkill, and then kill if you're really getting swarmed. So you already have a lot of combos just with those 2 Gauntlet Guns, which I think is really, really cool. Then you have a few more, and the art for him is fantastic. I really like it. Then we have a missile launcher. So here's another one that it says exhaust missile launcher and remove 1 ammo counter from War Machine. Deal 2 damage to an enemy. This attack gains range. Range, I believe, bypasses. It ignores. I thought it ignored guard. It doesn't ignore guard. It lets you bypass retaliate. So because you're shooting from distance, he can't hit you back. And that's just, with 1 Gauntlet Gun, that's essentially a free. If someone has high retaliate, you're just like, oh, okay, and then you shoot a missile at him. Then he has shoulder cannon. This one's kind of interesting. It's mainly used to, I feel like, get rid of things that have toughness, or just to ping, piddly little enemies, and that is shoulder cannon. You exhaust it, deal 1 damage to an enemy, you remove an ammo to deal, to ready it, so you can kind of do it again, just to deal 1 damage to an enemy. But it is an upgrade, so it stays, unlike these events that go away after their use. So just pinging a few people here and there for damage. And then another really cool card that I'm throwing is the upgraded Chassis. Gives you the aerial trait, which in his deck alone, I don't believe does anything. Well, it actually can, because if you have the aerial trait, then there's a few cards in here that allow you to play someone if they have your they have your same traits. So like Avenger and Soldier, and then Aerial is now one of those. But whenever this is a response, this is another upgrade with a response, and whenever you swap to War Machine, then you get a tough status card, which is really, really cool. So, like, you can play that, like, whenever you're in alter ego form, and then swap to him, immediately get a tough status card, which is like, an extra life, pretty much. Because it's like, oh yeah, the enemy's, the villain's going to do 10 damage to you. And it's like, oh, I'm actually tough, so I just don't take any of that damage. And then you also get your 5 ammo. So, those are the upgrade cards for him. And like I said, they're incredibly good just to have, just as they're so incredibly versatile. You have something that if someone has retaliate, you just do a couple damage to them. Shoulder cannon removes tough status cards. Then you have your gauntlet guns, which are essentially your engine for your events, and these are easily the best cards, I think, in his deck. Otherwise, if he's running out of ammo all the time, you're swapping. That means the villain's thwarting a lot, and it's just a bad time. And then just the tough status card, just to have that around, is really good. So then he has Iron Man, of course, that as an ally, and whenever he comes in, you search your deck or discard pile for a tech trait. So if for some reason you're not getting a gauntlet gun and you really need one, that is a tech. Iron Man brings it to you, and you're like, oh, thank God, I left it at home. And then you have 2 Against the World. Love that art. They're killing it on the art. It's a team-up card. I'm pretty sure every single deck is going to come with a team-up card now. And you search your deck for a tech upgrade and put it into play. Then you shuffle your deck, and then you ready both of these, which is really neat. Because you can get some badass combos just with this, especially because Iron Man is a 2 thwart, 2 attack, which is not nothing. Only 1 self-damage. And then, actually, if you play 2 against the... where is it? 2 Against the World, then you can play, if you pay for that, and you use a certain card that I can't find in his deck right now, which is called, here it is, Innovation. If you spend this card, heal 1 damage from any ally you control. You can actually keep Iron Man around just a little bit longer. And then he has Munitions Bunker, like his support, which everyone has. It is, as an alter ego, you exhaust Munitions Bunker and place 2 ammo counters on here. As a hero, you can exhaust it to move each ammo counter here to War Machine. So if you're in alter ego form, you can really just stack this and just do a buttload of damage, because there's no limit. It doesn't say limit, 5 ammo counters or something. You could just play the entire game and wait for that perfect hand. But the leadership aspect it's not my favorite. It sounds cooler than I think it ends up ever being, at least the pre-built decks, because allies are expensive. I mean, just the few that he has in here. I mean, Black Panther cost 4. They're good, and I know why they're powerful. They're a free buffer. Like, they're helpful in every situation. So you may play the event attached to Black Panther as if it were in your hand. After Black Panther enters play, choose a leadership blue event in your discard pile and attach it to him. So he just has an event with him. There is... he has a bunch. Goliath is super powerful. Comes in and does 5 damage. And if you can ready him, you can do 10 damage. Which is that's not nothing. And you can ready him again, because if you have Command Team, that allows you to exhaust this, take a counter off it, and ready an ally. Mockingbird, she's been in a few before. She just stuns an enemy when she comes in. That's not nothing. The biggest one, though, is Captain Marvel. She's in the pre-built, in which you discard the top 4 cards of your deck. If you discard a printed lightning resource, deal 3 damage to an enemy. If you discard more than 1, you also stun that enemy, so that's pretty good, and she does 3 damage. So they're very powerful, but in this particular deck, you don't have the cards that allow you to play blue cards as if like for 2 resources. So they're costly. At least once again, and I always just review these as pre-built. This isn't as if I, constructed the decks. But there are some blue in here that I haven't quite seen before, and I think they work really well with War Machine, because they're kind of used to quickly get allies in and out, like, as fast as possible. Like, aerial attacks, like, guerrilla. I keep saying I don't know why. Guerrilla warfare. So one of those that is like that is Make the Call. It's a free card, and you pay the printed cost of an ally in any player's discard pile. Put that ally into play under your control. If you really just kind of drew a shit hand and you need to get someone in to help out because you're not getting any damage cards or you're not getting any thwart cards, you can make the call, pay the cost to bring someone that left to come back in. You have, excuse me, another free card called Go Down Swinging. Discard an ally you control, deal damage to an enemy equal to that ally's printed cost. That's also really good because Captain Marvel will not stay around forever. They can't. They just inherit. You can't have every ally in the world. There's a limit, and her attacking deals 2 damage to her. So you could have her attack once, heal her with the innovations card, so then she can attack again in a future turn. And whenever she has 3 damage, you play Go Down Swinging, and then she deals 5. So Captain Marvel alone, just in this deck, can deal 11 damage just with her by herself. You have where was it? Oh, here we are. You have Save the Day. Discard an ally you control, and you remove threat from a scheme equal to the ally's printed cost. Once again, very situational. You have to have allies out. He also doesn't have ways to increase his ally limit, which I believe is 2. And don't quote me on that one, just because I never bring that many allies in, unless the deck is built for having a lot of allies out, which Leadership usually is, but his deck isn't. But that allows you to remove quite a bit of thwart, since he can't do a whole lot himself. And then Sneak Attack. This one is actually really cool. Cost 1, choose an ally in your hand that shares a trait with you, so Avengers or Soldier, or I think it was Shield Soldier. And if you have the chassis, it gives you the aerial trait, so that works for Captain Marvel. But you can put that ally into play for free, and then at the end of the phase, the ally goes away. And he has quite a few of these in his deck. 1, 2, 3. He has 3 sneak attacks. So a lot of guerrilla tactics with War Machine. So I really like the leadership cards that are in here, but I don't know if they synergize quite as well as I would personally like. And I mean, they're cool, like I said, but I never have them out long enough. Usually they're always kind of there to absorb a major blow that's about to come my way. But even then, like, you can play pretty smart with War Machine. That's what I'm saying. He's actually a pretty complex hero. Like, one of the most complex that I've actually seen come out, because you have to, a lot of cards to do their big damage, it's like a few. And if you can obviously have the perfect hand and combo off and do 60 damage with people. But War Machine, to do a lot of anything, you have to have the right cards. And if you don't have the right cards, then he's not great. And I find that happen quite a bit with him. When he goes off, he's awesome, but whenever he doesn't, then he's just kind of there, and that's usually a leadership kind of deck. Hawkeye was another example. Whenever you had all his arrows, he was awesome. When you ran out of arrows, you're like, all right, I got nothing. So War Machine's a little bit like that, but I feel like it's not as, I don't know. I like the engine. I like the ammo engine with him a lot more than I liked arrows. So he's a lot of fun, but he's deceivingly complex, I feel. So let's see if I can do a big wombo combo with him. So let's say you have ammunitions bunker out. You've had it out for a while. You of course have your 2 gauntlet guns. You have, why not? You have your shoulder cannon in there. We'll just move all this over. And, you have missile launcher as well. And you have a hand of full auto. Then you have a hand of your other full auto. So there's your 2. Then you have your Repulsor Beam. And then you have another Repulsor Beam. Because I believe there are 2. Yep, so that's 4. You have your buddy Iron Man out. He's been out for a while, hanging out with you. And then you have... let's see. He has no card draw, but I think you can... I think you're going to need just... Because he has no way of drawing cards, which can actually suck quite a bit. Okay. You have to pay the printed cost. I think... Because you can have 6. If you had... Okay. You have Captain Marvel and Sneak Attack in your hand. Because if you're in Alter Ego form, he has 6 cards. And let's say you also had Command Team that was out. Let's actually zoom out just a little bit. Boop. There we go. Just have all this room for this badass combo that you're gonna do, and you have one token left. I don't know, because while I would like to combo with, I mean, you could obviously have a few allies out. You have Iron Man, and we'll just say Goliath because he does quite a bit of damage. All right, and because this is always, of course, that you had the perfect freaking hand ever. And you had the perfect build, everything is set up for you to just go off. So, you flip to War Machine, like you do, with 5 ammo. How much would you need? 8? 10? No, just 10 ammo? Okay, and, no, 10, 11, 12, at least 12 ammo to be able to do what you wanted to do. Okay, you have 5 on... No, I think you can actually just get, you can succeed with 10. So you get 5 ammo when you swap to War Machine. He's locked and loaded. And Munitions Bunker has 5 on it as well. 6, whatever, because you put 2 ammo there. So, you exhaust Munitions Bunker. I'll just move these all out. Yeah, no I won't. I'll put it upside down. There we go. You exhaust Munitions Bunker. This allows you to move those 6 ammo over to War Machine, so now he has 11 on him. Then you exhaust, we'll just exhaust the 2 Gauntlet Guns. And that allows you to immediately play your Repulsor Beams. So you have the 2 Repulsor Beams, which allow you to remove... So now these are free because you get a wild resource and the ammo comes back. So you still have your 11. That allows you to do 8 damage already. So 8 damage to an enemy. That's the Repulsor Beams. So you still have your 11 ammo. You have... let's see. You play... Sneak Attack, which allows you to bring in Captain Marvel for free. And then that allows you to... She's there, which is awesome. Then you... you still have to pay the 2. Okay, so you can't have Captain Marvel out. In fact, actually, I think Iron Man being out doesn't help too much. But... if you had these 2 already out somehow, because what you're gonna need, if I was smart, just energy and strength instead. So then you play energy, that allows you to play full auto, and then you spend the 4 ammo, so 11 minus 4 is 7, and you do another 8, so that's 16 damage. You play strength to do another full auto, so now you're at 7 down to 3. So to do another 8, so what did I say, 16, 24 damage. And then you spend 1, you exhaust your missile launcher to deal 2 more damage, so 26 damage. You exhaust shoulder cannon, and that deals, so 26, 24, 26, 27. You remove another ammo, you have 2 ammo left to then do a shoulder cannon again, so 28 damage. You attack with Captain Marvel to do 3 more. That's 31. She's exhausted. You exhaust Command Team. Remove a token. Let's say that gets rid of it to ready her. You attack again. That would be, what did I say? That was 26. And then the 2 damage, 28, 31. So 34 damage. She dies. 34, you action Goliath to do 5 more. 34. Then he does another 5. Would be 39. Then so he's exhausted. You exhaust Command Team, gets rid of it for whatever reason, to ready Goliath again to attack. So that would be 44 damage. And then you attack with War Machine to do 46. Something like that, 46-ish damage with the perfect hand and perfect combo. It's incredibly impressive, and Munitions Bunker is almost a must if you even want to get both full autos off. But you have to have a hand that's going to let you pay for it. You're going to need the allies that are already going to be out, which they most likely won't be. But, because, like I said, Sneak Attack allows you to pull them in real quick. So, granted, none of the high-end damage combos that I ever talk about at the end will ever happen in the game, because 46 damage one-shots every villain. Even an expert, if you went through all 3, that would just wipe every single one of them. But still, I like showing the potential of what these card combos can do, and that's just from the pre-built decks, which are, I still think, excellently designed. But with all that being said, what do I think of War Machine? He's definitely fun, he's unique, and he isn't like a black sheep in Marvel Champions. I like that they didn't have him play like Iron Man, and they haven't really done that with any of the kind of similar Avengers like Ant-Man and the Wasp. They're similar, but their decks are a little bit different. I think I'm gonna give War Machine I think I'm gonna give him a 7. A 7 feels pretty good. Out of the most recent ones, we just got through all the Guardians of the Galaxies that were 9s and 10s. They were amazing. He doesn't quite stack up to those. And other gun users, I like him better than Venom, even though Venom wasn't horrible. But I don't think I like him as much as Rocket, because what's interesting and what makes him different is the ammo tokens go on him, and his cards use all of it. Rocket had ammo tokens on the cards, and he had ways of bringing those weapons back, and he just felt flashier. War Machine is the big, bombastic one-hit punch, and Rocket's like the combo maker. But he's not the worst, and he's definitely unique. So, I think a 7. 7 feels pretty good. So that's my thoughts on War Machine. Let me know what you think of him in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.